why do old people, babies, or people from a certain geographical area have a characteristic smell? And why does it seem like everybody has some sort of smell except you? So let me go step by step. Number one, why do babies smell? So babies usually have a characteristic smell because they are born with a coating called vernix caseosa. It is intended to protect the baby while in the uterus as a physical barrier between the baby's skin and the amniotic fluid as the baby floats in there in the amniotic fluid. So as a result, it is very tough. It is made up of long-chain fatty acids and waxes, and it is very waterproof. It's also soap-proof, so meaning it cannot be easily washed out by soap. So when the baby is born, this vernix caseosa continues to linger in the baby's skin for up to 3 months. As I say, it is very difficult to wash. And for those 3 months, the baby will continue to have that vernix caseosa smell. As well, also the baby has a milk smell. So as the baby consumes the mother's milk, their bodies metabolizes the proteins in the milk and they release volatile organic compounds that can be perceived as that characteristic new baby smell. Also, we know that babies regurgitate a lot, so they bring out the milk that is in their tummy out. I don't know what you call that in your language. And as they bring it out, it sticks to their clothes and their skin that our noses can perceive as smell. So one thing to note is that, unlike the other smells that I will discuss later, the baby smell is actually a pleasant one. And very importantly so, because it forms a very huge part of the bonding between the mom and the baby. Even mothers will be smelling their babies actively. You will find mothers smelling their babies' heads to get in that new baby smell. It helps with bonding with that new baby. Now let's go to you. Most of my audience will fall here. Why do adults who are, of course, very far from being babies and also not yet old have a characteristic smell? So most of the smell that an adult has comes from 2 areas of their body, and I'm strictly speaking about body smells. So that is the armpits and the groins. And these smells are as a result of breakdown of a type of sweat released in your armpits and in your groins called apocrine sweat. So apocrine sweat contain proteins, amino acids, and hormones. Others might call it pheromones. Bacteria in your armpit and your groin break them down into volatile organic molecules that can be smelled. And because everybody has a different cocktail of bacteria and it is impossible to find 2 people with exactly the same cocktail of bacteria, it means that everybody has their own different characteristic smell. Differs slightly from everyone else. So why do people in a certain geographical area have a smell of their own, a unique type of smell? That is mostly because of food that is consumed in that area. People who consume high animal protein diet, that means meat, eggs, milk, etc., will have a more pungent type of smell. What's the purpose of this smell that young adults produce? So the purpose of it is for sexual signaling. They are pheromone in nature, and when you smell a certain way, it subconsciously, without someone thinking about it, communicates sexual cues to a potential partner. So, in as much as you like complaining that you don't like men because they smell, the reptilian part of your brain says, I want that smell, without you knowing. So finally, we go to old people. So why do old people have a characteristic smell? And this old person smell is not really a bad smell, but it's just a unique type of smell that all old people have. And as I said earlier, I'm only speaking about body smells. I'm not speaking about other types of smell, e.g. that comes from incontinence or such things. So these old people usually produce a certain type of fatty acids that young people don't produce in large quantities, called omega-7 fatty acids. They also don't have antioxidants in their body. So meaning there is nothing to prevent oxidation of these omega-7 fatty acids. And as a result, the omega-7 fatty acids undergo an oxidative reaction called a peroxidase reaction. And they are oxidized to a certain molecule called 2-nonenal. And this is a volatile organic molecule that emanates from their body and creates that characteristic old person smell. All human smells are intended to communicate an olfactory message. So this old person smell is supposed to pass a message to people around you that you are past prime, and it's also still a sexual message and sexual communication to tell people that you are past prime, especially on matters of procreation. So why is it that we perceive as if we don't smell, yet other people smell? So the reason why we perceive as if we don't smell is because of this trick that our brains and our noses do to us called olfactory adaptation. So this olfactory adaptation means that our noses, as they interact with the environment, will tune out smells that are permanently lingering in our environments. And of course, that includes your own smell. And because our bodies have different bacteria populating it, it means that our smells will slightly differ, just very slightly. So meaning there is one or two smells that the other person will produce that you don't produce, that their noses have become adapted to, but our noses have not become adapted to. So they'll feel like they don't smell, yet you will feel that smell. And there are smells that you produce that other people will feel that your noses don't feel. So don't be quick to judge people. Everybody smells. Now you know about why various types of smells exist in various types of people and what it means. Thank you.